So, as we were looking into the first thing what we require for the audit is audit plan. I have tried to put an audit plan format to you, where here the numbers I have given, keeping audit number as January 1 to, like every 2 months I have given the audit number. Depends upon like how you would like to take, maybe a 6 months once or monthly ones. As I was discussing, we do monthly ones. Depending upon your criteria, you can take the audit numbers wherever you want, and you need to tick here that which audit you will do in what month. Here you have the activities of the audit, where you can see here the I have me and Piyush sir tried to put it, compare with the NAC related topics or NAC related activities. Like say admin officer, you are checking for admission details. That is that comes under criteria 2. Governance structure and policies, if you are checking, it comes under criteria 6. Same way IQAC comes under criteria 6. So here all these you can see: anti-ragging, student grievance, minority affairs. Also I have tried to put ISHE, uh, NIRF, ISO, if at all you have. So you, a person who is taking a lead for auditing the aspects, should have an idea of which particular aspects can be audited in what month, depending upon your course academic year starting. Say, for example, my institute academic time will be May to June. So, end of May, all the admission processes will complete. So, I can have the check on admission records in the month of June, because by May they will finish all the process of admissions and the classes will start in the last week of May, or June first week maximum we will start the classes.
Lisa, madam,
So
may I interrupt for a second,
yes
if you
sir,
don't mind?
yes sir, please.
Yeah. Yesterday we had a talk over here. I just wish to add one small thing. This is a different concept in the sense that the traditional colleges
Hmm.
go for an academic audit once in several years.
Once in several years.
Several years, maybe 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, 5 years. Second part is that they do everything within 3 days, 2 days, 5 days.
Okay.
I'm just trying to tell this not to you, actually to all others. What is fantastic about this plan happens to be is that it is new to me. It was new to me also. It is a small work on a regular basis,
True.
which means that once you have completed that work, you are going to get it audited. This is one. What is the second? It would mean what? The minute we have completed the work, if we check out the work, if audit the work, there is a better chance that we will be able to understand where we have gone wrong or where we have done well, or areas which we need to improvise on. If I am going to do this everything at the end of 2 years, then I don't think so. I'm going to get anything. It's going to be only a process that I have done an audit. When did you do audit? We did audit in 2020. Whereas all the financial audits that we do, they are always at the end of the year, and they are done. They are done every year. Every organization does it. Once financial year is completed or it is near the completion, auditing starts. For academics, we don't do that. So when admissions are over, if admission process is governed out, we will be able to understand the problem there itself, which we don't understand. When we had a talk 2 days ago, Nisa Madam,
Sir.
I missed it out to tell you that we work it out in this way, and that's not a right way. This is the right way. That's what I wish to say. Because the minute it is completed, if you audit it out, then in that case there is a better chance that
you can
know
revise
where the
it
things
in
are going
yes.
wrong.
If at all something wrong is there, you can do the corrections within a month of time or in 2 months of time.
Yes, that's what I mean to say.
Yeah.
That's what that is the beauty of this system. That's what I'm trying to say.
Yes, exactly.
That day we were talking, but I missed it out to tell you this is the beauty of the system that I want.
Okay.
And I want to tell this to everybody else that try to understand this. If the system is being checked out that time itself, there is a better chance that it will improvise. If we are going to post it till when that time comes, that time we will do, then things will not work. They don't work, then it becomes a mechanical process. हो गया क्या हो गया. And our audits, खास करके academic audits, we don't do academic audits. They are absolute foolish ideas that we are doing. So they are not audits. They are, I don't know what it is. It is anything except an audit. That every day that every day I see the system, I understand it. It's not an audit. I wish to share one more thing. I think so. I talked to Anwani Madam also. I had a talk with Dr. Vijay Joshi, who is now consultant to RUSA, but he was working with RUSA. He's in Mumbai. We were talking about this particular course, and then I had asked him as to, do you believe that what we do is an academic audit? He could not answer the question. He said, no, that's not the right audit that we do. I said, we don't do an audit. Here we am able to see these are the right places that we need to do. This is a different approach that you have actually mentioned out, which we had not even thought of. So I felt like I must interrupt, and all of you should please look into this matter very carefully. Because this will improvise on the systems.
This is where quality comes.
Yes,
if we keep working on this, after 3 years of time, you will see this will become an habit to the institution.
Very true.
Once
it won't be a big work either. It won't be a big work. It would be a small work. It won't be
a big work. Yes.
There is one more small addition that I am doing. I'm sorry I'm interrupting you. But then we have I had given you this audit format. I will actually like to share this audit format with all of you. And we can have looking at today's session, we can do some more things with it. I will like it to be reformed out by these 20 people. Let's see how we can reform it at the end of the session. We will sit and discuss out. I have already interrupted you too much, madam. Please go ahead.
Not an issue, sir. But it was a good information you have given, that you have added and value to the talk what I am doing it now. This is very true that actual intention of this course is to improvise or enhance the enhance the quality in the organization. That is what is the course says, the development of the quality in the organization. And quality will come with writing procedures, creating our objective, vision, mission. That is very much true. But if you will not audit, if you will not have a proper touch on the path what you have been written already uh, in the way of writing process or procedure, then the all it remains as a write up only, but there will be no development. So we need to have the clear audit plan, and when we make a calendar, we need to add the audit dates also in your calendar. A principal should add the audit date also. In the principal's calendar, this will come that on this particular month we'll be having an audit. So it's a planned thing. But before the calendar, this IQAC head or the quality head person who is looking for the audits has to prepare this master calendar or master plan of the audit, that in which particular time what audit we are going to take. Like I was telling, admission process, soon after completion of the admission process, give a time of 15 days to 1 month and pick that particular department or the procedure for the audit. At the same way, if I tell about the financials, March will be the right time. February specifically will be the right time to check the finance audit or finance processes, because March onwards the filing will start. March onwards the other audited exact financial audits will happen, but the quality audits on the procedures can be done at that particular time. And minority affairs as a topic, if you take, then soon after the admission, when your government scholarship calls will happen, and soon after end of the date of the scholarship or in between that, to check the process is going perfectly, how many applied, still time is there to make motivate the students to apply. So to do that, you should put the audit in between, either before the start of the process or after the start of the process, depending upon your situation of your college. So here we will come across clearly that when and what will happen. Connection to this, your college calendar will come. In college calendar, we will mention that on this particular day, this activity will happen, say maybe NSS activity or your women's cell activity, ICC activity, or anti-ragging activity. So much you will be very clear in the department calendar. Now, the department calendar activities to be picked out, and see to it that where that is going to match to which particular criteria and which particular process of your organization, and put those processes for the audit monthly, wherever it is required. So that is how here you require only a tick mark that which audit you are doing when. So at the end of the calendar, you will be having the last lines. I want you to concentrate on last lines. The thing has been given like basis is a planned calendar which works with you, and need based is another thing, that is whenever you come across any kind of an objective evidence and you have to do suddenly the audit which is unplanned, which is not there in the calendar, you call that as need based, or it requires at that time. Sometimes we raise the non-confirmation, and to make clear the non-confirmation is been closed or the strategy of non-confirmation has been followed, we will do the need-based audit, that is unplanned audit. It was needed, that's why we have done. So when you do need-based audit, whenever you have done, put it into the calendar and put a small signature that this is need-based. That's why here generally follow, like if you are ticking it with a right mark, then it means that you have planned. If after the planning, when you complete it, below the right mark, you are going to write O. That means completed. If you have not completed, you have planned, but due to some reasons you have not completed that audit, then in the calendar you are going to make it as into mark on that part. That is, a right mark will be there, that is planned, but you have not completed. So below the right mark, you will put into mark also. If you have done somewhere the need based, then you are going to add the triangle there saying that it was needed, that's why we have done it. So who has prepared this? And once you prepare, you have to send these copies to all the process owners, because everybody should know that which audit is happening when. Therefore they also will be ready enough for that particular process, or for the audit to audit, they will be ready for the audit which is going to happen. Is there any doubts to be discussed here, or we'll go for the next form?
Along with it, a date will also come.
When date will come when they are doing it, like say in the month of January I have planned one thing, then I have to take the concern of the process owner that when that person is free in January, anytime, or whenever the person is free, when you complete, just put the date and O and your small signature that you have completed on this date in that month.
Badrunesha madam.
Yes, sir.
I have one question.
Yes, sir, please.
What will be the frequency of audit? I mean, some of the activity last longer for a complete academic year. So if you are auditing in between, then what will happen to the rest of the part?
So that is why I said in the initiation, depending upon your requirement. If you are feeling that your activity completes after the 1 year, then you keep that audit. You want to keep it after the completion. Fine, you keep it after 1 year. Say your thing will complete in December. Then put the audit of that activity in January. Or if you feel like you need a check after 6 months, then put your audit in 6 months and see in 6 months whatever the progress has been happened. Is it is moving towards the successful direction or no? Or it requires a few more strategies to be followed to complete in a proper manner. That you will understand if you are putting in 6 months.
Okay.
So and complete one, you put it after 1 year.
Prabhakar sir, for example, examination which ends up in May, for example, you can have the audit done in June or even in July next year. But you can put it, plan it, and keep it that this audit would be done in July. Let us say the results come sometime in July. For example, you feel that the entire process of that particular year ends up in July, though the next academic year has started. You can keep it in July, or you can take it in the next year, seeing that year audit, it is at the beginning of the year, it is for the previous, and that would complete all the processes. So different time for different processes. Some processes may overlap, and timings for processes may overlap, though processes don't overlap. But then during different parts of the year, you will be having different audits going on. In other words, almost every month, some small audit is going on. At the end of the year, everything is audited. That's what it means.
Right. Thank you.
Okay. Now, I just wish to add, if Madam has completed, I wish to add something.
Yes, sir.
IQAC cluster has prepared an academic audit. I wish to give this academic audit to this particular group. after you have completed all this, madam,
Yes, sir.
I wish that this particular group works on that audit, refines the audit, makes it better. Can it be done by us? Can we do that?
Yes, we can do that.
You mean the real audit in their own colleges?
No, I mean to say before we actually go for any kind of audit in the respective colleges,
Yes.
we first need to make the format better. That is what I feel.
Okay.
Currently, we have a format. As I made a mention that we conduct an audit once in a year or once in 2 years. Now, what Badrisa madam is saying is it's a categoric shift. So then in that case, and this is a better process actually. Then in that case, whatever has been done by me, my role was bigger. And one of my colleagues, Dr. Aryan Patil, he had also helped me in this process. I will actually like you to take the entire audit. In other words, tear it down into pieces. Make it better. And it can be an academic audit prepared by this particular group for IQC India. You can always use. Otherwise, also you can use it for your purposes. You can use it for your colleges. So I will actually like you all of us to participate into these events. We make a better audit.
So,
Sir,
Yeah.
sir, I just have a very basic question. Can we, why do we call it as an academic audit? Because it's an academic institute, or it is an audit of the academic process that is going.
It is the audit of academic processes in an academic institute.
So then, sir, why, if we are including admin or if we are including governance, etc., then those should not be a part of it. So should we call it as a, as a general audit?
No,
or,
just 1 minute. Anything related to academics would be a part of academic audit. Administrative audit would be a part. There will be some administrative aspects coming into it. But otherwise also we have a financial audit, which is a different audit, which is conducted by every organization every year.
Yes, sir. So that is not a part of the academic audit.
That is not to be counted as a part of academic.
Then environment audit, sir, that we do, gender audit.
We will look into those audits later on. But this audit is gender audit or environmental audit. It is not a direct part of your academics. Any audited process, any particular process from a beginning to end is an audit. When we talk of academics, which begins sometime in, let us say, April, May, and it goes on up to the next March, April, those processes are the part of academic audits. Our academic audits include all these processes. We have them regularly. The only thing is the way we do it now. After looking at this particular process, I am able to sense it that we are not doing it in the right way, and that we need to change these processes. We really need to think about it. That's what I was saying. So
hello.
Just 1 minute, let me go. And so, if we can actually, after this entire session is over by madam, I will be sharing out those formats. There are two formats. One, what the academic audit is, where I have tried to actually keep what to keep in which file and something of that sort. But that's a part of it. But can we have these processes in a better way? This is what I wanted to censor.
Okay.
Can we refine these processes? Can we make them better? After so much of thought and after having so many good people with us who are into the leadership program, So I'd like to share this particular format. You go through that format, and what best can we do about it? Let's see if we can reform these formats. They will be used by the entire nation over a period of time. I think so that can be a bigger contribution coming out.
So if I may ask something, sir.
Sure.
So So maybe my mind is not working properly and I'm little confused. The end of the day, sir, a lot of work in college today. But sir, what happened in the beginning of this program, of this lecture today was that Badrunisa ma'am showed us this annual internal audit plan. Now, maybe the IQAC of my college picks up this plan and sets out the particular months for each one of these units. And a plan is made for the college and everybody. And I suppose each unit will have some responsible person who will be given this charge of auditing that thing for that particular year. Now, we will have a set of, say, 21, no, it's 29 bits of paper.
There are more than 60 actually.
So ma'am's thing shows 29 of them.
Okay, that's
so 29 pieces of paper we have at the end of the year, which is audited of each one of these. So I'd like to know, after this, what happens? What do we do with that? I mean, if we go by a process, I mean, like what next?
In the coming session, sir, in next half an hour, you will understand what will be next.
Okay, ma'am. So I was, because what sir is sharing now, the audit program is something very different. I mean, this will not follow from there, I suppose.
how do you audit in your organization?
So we do it after 5 years, or 3 years, we call an audit.
That is what he said in the beginning. Yes.
I know.
Now look at this. Now look at this.
Audit every year and external audit once in 3 years.
Once in 5 years, yeah.
For academics.
Academic audit once in?
Once every year.
We have internal audit, sir. And once in 3 years, we have this external audit, academic audit.
Okay, but
I'm
then,
not talking about the financial.
No, not about the finances.
Yeah, the academic, we have internal every year.
But then it should not be at the end of the year after looking at this. That is what I think, because quite possible that we may miss on something very important. Anyway, let's go ahead with it.
This is more.
Padi sir.
So this is organized and systematic.
Yeah.
But then I do not understand, like some ma'am just now asked about gender. Like, for example, how ICC is included in audit programs here in academic.
It would be a part of whether those meetings are taking place.
Pardon, sir?
The ICC would be having some kind of meetings, some kind of programs.
But then that is not part of academic thing, is it?
It is a part of academic.
It is a part of academic.
And we can use the gender thing also here. That also can be part of.
Yeah, but it can be an independent audit on its own. If you wish to have, you can have that as a part, but it would be a more of an whether those processes are going on fine or not. Whereas when you talk about a gender audit, it becomes far more specific, where you go for, let us say, some kind of formats. You get the formats filled up from all the students, whether certain kind of analysis are being done. Those processes become a little different. You can have them independently also.
Lata madam, let me make you a little clear. We are discussing, I started saying that the course says that the development of quality in the organization. So the discussion here happening, keeping criterias of the NAC into consideration, which is not all the parts are the academics in the NAC. There are governance.
That's precisely what I'm trying to say.
That's why we have mentioned the criterias also. That's why I started saying that we tried to map with the NAC things.
Yeah, then
it's a overall development of organization. Overall, if I say ICC included here, the intention of including here is not for academic. I want to is working properly, is the documentation of that ICC is in a correct manner. Is the strategic plan what the ICC has done is being followed or no? keeping that into view, we are discussing. Shall we move on?
Yes, please go on. Someone had to say something, anything additional.
You're saying it's all from the NAC perspectives, right, ma'am?
Yes.
Yes, yes. Again, you can make different things, like separate it, governance you separate it, academics you separate it. Yeah, that is possible. Yeah, that is possible.
Yes. Okay.
So,
Badruddin sir, ma'am, एक small question.
हाँ बोलिए sir.
Who will be the members of audit committee? For every audit, there will be different members, or what type of committee will be?
So actually, if you ask me, it should be a trained auditor. Like you all are becoming a trained auditors.
Yeah,
If
only
there are 3 members trained, then you have to consider that 3 members only as the auditors.
Okay, no one from the management, respective management?
Respective management?
No any member from respective management of college.
Management will not come into this.
Okay, you have to report to the
Management will not come into this. It is purely the certified or trained auditor. It is an administrative training actually. If you go with criteria 6, number of administrative trainings you are doing for the thing. Then if you keep some 4 to 5 members and train them for the internal audit, it will become a administrative training, one aspect. And those members who are trained are the authorized people to do the audit. Ethically, if you ask me, whenever the audit has been done, the auditor has signed, means that auditor should have a certificate that he or she is an auditor.
Yeah. Thank you.
That's how it goes.
Right. Thank you.
Yes. Can you able to see the audit program displayed?
Yes.
Yes,
we can see.
Okay.
Yes, madam.
Now the next step will be, once you plan the audit and say you are taking after 2 months an audit, at least minimum 1 week before to create audit program. In the calendar, we have not specified the date. We have specified only the month. And in coordination with the process owner of that month's audit. For example, I was talking about the admission audit. Then after all the completion of the admission process, I should interact with admin officer that can we take an audit because this month admission audit is due. Then that person will say, give some dates, possible dates, out of which you have to fix one of the day and you have to inform 1 week before to the process owner through this format called as audit program. And if at all you have in a month, say 3 to 4 different processes to be audited, then in that month's audit, whatever you are planning has to be mentioned here, and everybody should know that you are coming for the audit at least 1 week before. Here, the letter just I have typed, you can do the changes as per the requirement of your university or your college. Just to show you, I have typed this, that you are giving the attention to the process owners and the auditors. Because it goes from the IQAC or the head of quality to the auditors. You are going to assign the auditor and the process to the process owner. Here the internal audit program will be scheduled for the assessment of so and so procedures, you say, and you are making clear 3 points. One is you are making them clear that the process owner should be available for the audit, and also that process owner should be available for the closing meeting. Now, what exactly the closing meeting is? Closing meeting is that particular meet which you will do with the auditee, that in a 1 hour or 2 hours of time or a 1 day of time, what you have taken to audit all the records and what all you have noted down, you are going to explain that to the process owner in the closing meeting of the audit. Hence, availability of the process owner there for the closing meeting and throughout the audit is necessary. And whoever are the concerned people should be available in time, and if at all they require any change and any change in consultation, any change in the time or date or anything, they have to consult the head of the quality coordinator or IQAC, so that the planning will be done properly. Here, the down table, you can see you are mentioning which date, which time, and which is sometimes whole department will be audited. Like if I say BA department will be audited for all the processes of BA. That is also possible. Or you are going for only one few processes, 3 to 4 processes of that particular department. Then the processes you are mentioning. Or you are going with objective evidence and you are trying to do an audit on the basis of objective evidence, then mention that objective evidence, what you have found, for which you are going for audit. Which auditor has been assigned for which process or which department, that also you are going to mention there. And you are taking the signature of the auditor for accepting this job. Also, you are mentioning the name of an auditee. Auditee here is a process owner. You will mention the name of, if you are doing an audit to a whole department, then principal is the auditee. If you are doing a audit for the sports, then physical director is an auditee. You would have written in your processes that who is the responsible person for that process, and that person will become an auditee here. And you are going to take the signature of the auditee also. Now, this will be clearly given 1 week before, minimum 1 week before your program is set for the audit, through this format, where everybody knows. It's not like suddenly, because you are an auditor, you cannot suddenly go and demand for the records. You cannot do that. You have to go along with the program, and officially it has to be mentioned, and it should look like professional work you are doing. Both auditor, auditee, and the head of the quality all are working professionally, and all our vision will be matching towards the organizational vision. It is to enhance the organizational vision. This we should keep in mind when you are going for an audit or preparing your audit. Any queries here before I go to the next form?
No, very clear.
Oh, madam.
Let's go ahead.
I hope. Yes. Somebody was speaking something. Shall we move on?
Yeah, please.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. I'm sharing this now, which can you able to see the screen?
Yes. Exercise on audit can be seen.
Yes, exercise on an audit. Now, I want everybody to participate in and fill these columns which are blank. By now, I'm sure all of us have understood the planning for the audit, a clear planning for the audit, and programming the audit. And then let us understand and write down these things before we go for reporting the audit. So these things we have discussed in the last session also. That is, what is objective evidence, what is audit evidence, what is audit report, audit conclusion. The new thing here is risks and opportunities. Now, once we understand to write audit evidence, audit report, audit conclusion, we will come across, we will pick out that these report or the conclusion says what. Will this turns to a risk to the organization, or it is going to be an opportunity to the organization? That is what we are going to do. So, Piyush sir, help me out to just start with filling one activity and then we can give the other three to them.
Let us start with unsatisfactory placements, for example. Can we go ahead? Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Audit evidence. Number of placements done less.
Sir, audit evidence will be the record for that. So,
Yes.
how many students?
Record of placements.
How many
Record of
students
placements.
placed
That's right. So
in which
it would come as
which
record
program?
of placements. Very true.
Even the number of companies coming to campus.
Yeah.
Number of companies coming to campus. Very true.
Appointment letters.
Appointment letters.
And even packages.
There is one thing that I wish to make a mention, since somebody said an appointment letter. Now for NAC, it's for the past 2-3 years, it's not only an appointment letter, they also ask for the first salary slip. They ask for the first salary slip because they know कि सब गड़बड़ हो जाती है यहाँ पे. Appointment letter मिलता है, letter of joining भी मिल जाता है, पर salary slip जब आती है तो या तो salary slip या salary certificate that is counted to counter. So unsatisfactory placements, no companies reaching, then offer letters, or no letters of joining or something of that sort. What we can put in. I think
number of students per program getting placed.
Yeah, number of students per program.
Before that, first initially, how many are registering for placements, sir? So number
of students registering for placements. Number of students registering for placements.
Pre-placement training, sir. Pre-placement training.
Pre-placement training. Well, we can put that also.
Will it come under training or under?
It should go under training rather than.
It has to be converted. We can put that saying that placement department is working. How is the placement department is giving the training for the placement?
Okay. Now, what would come in the next part? I think so. 2-3 are sufficient for the time being.
Yes.
Let's go ahead. Can we have it numbered or bulleted or something of that sort so that we will understand it better? Number 1, number of companies reaching. Number 2, offer letters. Number 3, students registering. So our talk will be very specific in that case. Fine. Now what? Yes, go ahead. Let's go ahead.
So how the audit report will come here?
Percentage of students placed is less than the benchmark.
Percentage of
Students placed is less than benchmark. That is how we, because it is said unsatisfactory placements. So
Rather eligible students who are appeared for that company are not being placed. So something like that.
can you repeat?
Percentage of madam, in this sentence, percentage of students placed is less compared to benchmark.
First of all, number of eligible students.
Number of
eligible students for placement, the final year students.
Can we mention the number of companies that have come for campus interviews?
Right.
That is audit evidence.
Wait, ma'am.
yeah.
Can it be the second tier or the first tier company coming for placement?
No, you are reporting now. How you will report?
Yes, ma'am. So in
Number
the
of,
report, can we mention
number of,
the number of
first time-
companies was less? Can we
number
say
of-
that?
Number of
The companies are not turning up to our college for placements. So the number of companies is also less, which we should increase. Can we say that in the report?
yes.
The number of
So that's what we
companies
said, number of
coming to
first tier company
placement
and number
is
of
less.
second tier companies coming for placement.
Ma'am, how do we identify number? Like, how do we say this is small number and this is big number?
The comparison to benchmark.
I mean, where has the benchmark been set up?
That every institute
We'll
has
have
to
to.
set
We
for
will
their
have
own.
to make a benchmarking. We'll have to set the benchmarks.
I mean, at what level, at what point, at what level, where do we set it up, which can be compared here?
No, sir. What I think is
Is that a policy benchmark?
No, sir. Somewhere we have to start. Suppose if last year we could get success in placing 5 students. This year benchmark can be 10 students.
No.
That's
all right. But where have we set the benchmark? Is that a policy decision?
We have to
Yes,
do it,
that
sir.
that will
Yes.
come in policy. That will come in policy
Have to do it
document.
before we go for the audit.
It's a policy. It's a policy you have to make. In the policy, the key indicators, what we write, no?
No,
Before
so ma'am, that's what I'm asking you. So in the audit report, it will go that, in spite of your policy being this, you've only done this. So it shows that you have come down or gone up, something like this. Otherwise, how do you make a report?
Yes, that is why we have given the how to write the policy and create the key indicators.
That's
We
right.
will write the key indicators, right, before saying that this year, our benchmark will be placing the students to around 50% level or 30% level. You have given in the key indicator of your process. Now, in spite your policy is there, in spite your key indicator is there, still your placement is not satisfied. Then you are checking. So these are the possible points which we are thinking that maybe because the number of companies reaching out to the college is less compared to the benchmark what has been done in the policy.
Even the job market depends on, so that will also become a reason for it.
Correct. The training is not matching with the placement, ma'am.
Industry academia interaction trainings.
Yeah, I mean, maybe the training is not matching with the placement or job opportunity.
Okay, now let us move on to audit conclusion. How do we conclude this?
Badrunisa ma'am, I have a doubt again.
Tell me.
I don't understand what are the contents of a report. Because the thing is, to my mind, training is not matching with job opportunity is more of a conclusion. Moreover, I agree with Nirmalya sir. I think what he's trying to say is, when you say percentage of students placed is less compared to benchmark, the word less is very subjective. Okay, it should be so much percentage below benchmark, therefore it is unsatisfactory. Look at our objective evidence. We are using the word unsatisfactory. Do you have a definition of unsatisfactory? There's nothing called as benchmark. There has to be, what is the meaning of unsatisfactory? Is unsatisfactory below 50% of your benchmark? Is unsatisfactory 25% below your benchmark? You cannot just write less. It becomes very ambiguous, is what I think Nirmalya sir was trying to hint at.
And what could be?
That can be a percent, you can put it into percentages.
No, audit report has to be very factual, not like this ambiguous. And it cannot be conclusion. Because again, audit conclusion is a part of audit report.
It should be what has exactly happened on that. What
Absolutely, factual data.
It should be things like 50 letters were written to 50 companies, out of which 10 appeared.
Correct.
That's it. You
factual.
Now make your own conclusion if this is good or bad.
Right. It has to be factual.
But it has to be, or you say that out of 2,000 students, 500 participated in, in interaction with companies who came. Those are facts, and that can be mentioned in a report.
Agreed.
What conclusion the auditor takes is a different matter, but the audit report will have factual things in it. Exactly what happened.
Agreed on it. Agreed.
And not just that, I also feel that this report is very biased. Why are we thinking only in terms of risk and opportunity? Why not strength? Why not strength and challenge also?
No, currently, just one part is that we can definitely have those aspects under the report. We have only taken some examples over here. We will definitely use the right words, the right statement that need to be over here. Exercise on audit, when we are talking about risk and opportunity, it is the area where we need to work. That's what I see. They are definitely the areas where we need to work. When we are talking about the strengths, we will always be working on this. But when it comes to a risk or an opportunity, we will have to go ahead with it. For which we need to plan a little more. But before that, what you say is right, Nirmani madam. We can definitely change the lines and the words that come into the audit report, which will be more factual. That's true. Rather than putting it percentage is less, we can definitely say that 1,000 students appeared for the placements, but only 20% could succeed. Or we could also make a mention over here saying that only 20 students could get through the placements. So 8,000 में से जब BC आते हैं तो ये बहुत कम हो जाता है. That goes to something like so many 1%, 2% of the total crowd. तो यहाँ पे वो हम बिल्कुल facts डाल सकते हैं. A report can be factual. This is the right part that we can definitely counter. Rather than putting it less, more.
Because even saying number of for 1 and 2 tier, whatever is written, companies visited is not to the mark. Now, what is the meaning of is not to the mark? You know, so all those things, I think, and also Badrunisa ma'am, if I may request, I think a preamble to this, like what is the meaning of audit report? What is expected in an audit report? I think if that kind of a literature is provided beforehand, there will be, I think the results will be far better.
In the last session, I have shared one of the things to make the audit report. This we are just exercising. I'll share it now also. I'll tell you what the audit report will be. Definitely what you are saying, the write-up there should be factual. That is okay. Can you see this audit report?
Ma'am, I remember this very well. This is nothing but, you know, the in terms of SWOT it is, right? I am just saying what should be the components of an internal audit report. These are just positive comments and areas of concern. I'm saying the report has to just state facts that this is what the auditor saw. I saw so many letters. Okay, I saw so many companies coming, etc., etc., etc. Then all this, this is more relating to the audit conclusion in terms of positive comments, areas of concern, opportunity for improvement. This is my personal view.
This is not the conclusion. This is the report. Conclusion is something which you are trying to give it to the management. That with all these reports, you are trying to conclude and say that this is where we are lacking and for which we need to have a strategy for the improvement. What strategy you are going to draw? Due to these reports, I'm trying to tell the management in my conclusion that this report says these are the areas of concerns. And after 3 audits, the areas of concerns are remaining in the same manner. That means it is going towards risk. So we have to take, that will become a conclusion. See, any single audit will not give any conclusion report. Minimum of 3 audits is required to give the conclusion remark. Suddenly you cannot say. The first audit report always will be called as observation. And we give a time to improve for that. After 3 audits, if you are seeing the areas of concerns are repeating again and again without any improvement, at that time the conclusion of the audit will go. Audit conclusion will not go suddenly. This is not a kind of thing that you went and you asked for one paper and something was not there and something would have been went wrong, and maybe after 1 week of time or after 1 month of time it may correct by itself. So you cannot conclude that this is going to be a risk or this is going to be an opportunity. You will put that into observation. Always only an observation we call at the first stage. And 3 times the same areas of concerns are repeating again and again. So that particular time, all your reports say, you will write in your conclusion, report dated on this, report dated on this, report dated on this, is showing the same concern. This says that this is going to be an risk if we continue further without taking a task on this. So, and strategy has to be drawn here to convert this risk towards an opportunity. Audit conclusion will not happen at a single audit. Now what we are discussing in the audit report, the points what we are discussing is not exactly written report. It is the analysis we are doing and we are writing the checkpoints. Maybe these are the possibilities, these are the possibilities, maybe this has happened. Yes, it is less. Now further you should have a query that why this is less, why the companies are less. Then as Nirmala sir said, it comes that a placement officer has to prove that though I have tried my best giving so many emails, to the companies. Though I tried from my side, all the companies I reached, but they have not turned up. Then again the question will arise, why? Then placement officer should say why the companies are demanding for something. Is your college is situated in particular area where they are unable to reach you, or you are not particularly, your students are very less that they don't want to come to the campus only for 10 to 15 students. Something like answers you will get from the placement officer, that you are going to put into areas of concerns. Areas of concerns because students are less, company is not reaching here. That's why can we make a kind of campus interviews or campus placement including nearby colleges also, so that the strength will increase here, so that we can call the company here? Or can we send our students to some other college because we are at that particular area where companies are not going to come here? These are the concerns you write in the report. Now what you are writing is your checkpoints. Analysis has to be done. Queries has to be raised to the process owner. And after the queries, you are analyzing and then you are reporting. And this is report only, not the conclusion. And in the report, after every audit, you will give to the management a conclusion saying that observations on areas of concerns for this has been done in this month. And a leader should have a check that the areas of concerns are repeating, is increasing or decreasing. That will become a report. That will become a conclusion. Am I clear? Piyush sir can give an examples here, I think.
I'll just like to go to the previous chart.
Yeah, sure.
No, we want the previous chart.
Yes, yes.
Yes. Now, what we have come over here is audit report. There is one thing that we can definitely make a mention that I am able to see. For example, when we are talking about evidence, number of companies reaching are lesser than what they were previous. Now, audit report, what would the audit report with this particular aspect make a mention? For example, we are counting on audit evidence, number of companies reaching. Okay. So what would be the audit report that would come in over here? Can anybody help me out? It can be the number of companies contacted were lesser as compared to the lesser. This is possible over here. Am I audible? My internet connection is not very stable. That's what it says. So
yes, sir, you are audible.
Yeah, fine. Report would be way more specific. This is what I can make a mention.
Sir, if what Badrunisa ma'am has just said, that if the audit report is going to be, audit conclusions are going to be after 3 audit reports, then obviously some conclusion can be made in the sense that the auditors find that every year the institution is reducing the calling number of companies to its college or something like that. Then a conclusion can be made. But from one particular audit to make a conclusion of any
No,
kind.
that will not take place.
It will not happen. Yeah. So
the report would be, what do you say, more objective kind.
That's right. That's right.
I think so. That is exactly what Nanwani Madam is also making a mention of. It is objective that so many students participate in the process of placements. So many companies had come. This is what would be the report, as I gather. Am I right, Padmisa Madam?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Or for that matter, Nanwani Madam, what more do you say?
Yes, sir. As Badrunisa ma'am pointed out, I would more agree with the word observations. And again, observations are always factual. Whatever the observation may be, they're factual matter.
That would come into the report.
So it should not be called as audit report. Because as she mentioned, the audit report is after a number of observations during the year or after years.
That would be a conclusion.
No, that can come later. But here we can just write observations.
Nanwani Madam, see. For example, when we are talking about placements, it's once in a year or once in, let us say, in a particular part, that in these 1, 2, 3 months, the companies are going to come. Or in these 4 months, the companies will normally come. So then in that case, during that time span, how many companies came? How many companies were invited? How many companies have actually conducted the process? How many students have been selected? This is what is a report. We are reporting out. So it is putting up the facts. It is not coming to any conclusion with those facts. Conclusions will come with some other benchmarks. So conclusions come with benchmark, either the previous benchmark, पिछले साल 100 बच्चे चुन लिए गए थे, इस साल 25 ही गए, तो वो conclusion पे आते हैं. Reporting would be reporting. When a teacher reports you, you are a director. At that time, so many things have happened. इतना ही बताते. We conducted an event, and for this event, 150 students were present. The teacher, the guest came in time. The guest delivered so and so content. For example, that I'm making. This is a report. Report is not giving you any conclusion. Is not directing you anywhere else.
I would like to stand corrected, but this is my perception. What she says is that these kind of audits, okay, are conducted over a period of time. Now, of course, in the case of placement, it may happen at the end of the year. But like in a typical MBA institute, there's a placement season. So you do it right from September to, let's say, March, April. And every month you are looking at achieving the benchmarks. Okay, so these become observations every month, and maybe an audit report can be prepared at the end of the year is what I would like to submit. So
that is what is happening. No?
Yes. So if this is intermittent, sir, if this is, let's say
this is not intermittent, just 1 minute.
Huh.
That is not what she said. It is not intermittent. In the first chart itself, we have made a mention saying that after that particular process gets over, then we prepare, then we go for the audit.
Correct.
If you recollect it, Rohankar sir had asked the question, if certain things go on for the entire year,
correct.
So this is going to come at the end of the entire process.
Correct.
And then a report is going to be prepared. Let us say our academic year ends up somewhere in May, and the companies are going to come up to, let us say, May.
Correct.
So this would come in May.
Correct.
Or in June or in July.
Correct. So here then, based on that, sir, audit report and the facts will be that, let's say we are starting, the thing has started from September. In September, there was 0 activity. In October, there was hardly 5%, which means consistent efforts were not made. And therefore, I'm saying, let facts be stated over here. What did you observe during different
but actually, I think that we are saying the same thing.
Yeah, I'm agreeing. I'm just sir. I'm just agreeing with what you're saying.
So what I am saying is, What you are saying is, come on, in September, there the companies that came were lesser, but it is still reporting only. We are reporting the same thing.
Agreed,
Yeah, that's
agreed.
very true.
Yeah.
Agreed. I think so. There is no argument over it.
No, no,
Both
no.
of
No
them are
two
saying the
views.
same thing.
No, sir. There are no two views about it. I was referring to when you asked the question, what should come in the audit report? I am saying these are the facts that can come in the audit report. That in the month of September, this was the percentage. In October, let's say it became 5%. Now it shows that the efforts have not been very consistent. It will help you to build the conclusion. I'm just saying that.
Very true. I agree with you.
Yes.
Yes, I agree. Very
So, sir, in that case, and if this is the process, then why do we need an external person to tell us that? Because this is the fact which even a placement officer will be able to put in. I mean, taking this example, for example, and will be able to point out, will be able to give the report.
What you say is right, but what happens is many of these processes do not go the way they should go. They are manipulated. And therefore, if someone from outside comes, there is a better chance that he or she may, because the person is unbiased, and therefore, it is quite possible that he will come out with a solution. For example, when NAC comes, they have nothing to do with your organization. They are neither interested, nor they are disinterested. You have invited them, so they have come. It is a kind of an audit only that they are doing it. So that time they come and say कि भाई आपका जो placement है वो अच्छा नहीं है. But there is a chance that we may make a mention saying that in the last year, in the 5 years ago, it was 1%, and now it is 8%. It's a great achievement. We have grown up 8 times. But 8% is not a good amount. It has to be 50%, 60%, 70%. तो ये हम हमारी पीठ थपथपा सकते हैं, not saying थपथपाते हैं. But then in that case, I will like to share one very fantastic example. This happened with my organization and how things changed. It's last year that I said I want result analysis. I got the result analysis from the teachers. First year belongs to the organization. So results first year के organization ही बनाती है हमारे यहाँ पे. Simultaneously, what I did was I asked for the results from the office. Now two results came in front of each other. It was still not an audit. I was looking at the results. One of the teachers had commented that my result is 92%. My result is 92%. The office had given the result somewhere between 56%. So I invited the lady and asked her, "Bhai, office is saying this. This is the data with the office, and this is the data that we have provided. There is a difference between 56 and 92, and 52 and 92, and that's a big difference. What do you say?" She said, "No, the data that I have is right. No, I know that the data that office has is right." So I again approached the office and I said, "How many students have failed in this particular subject?" So once I got the names of the students that have failed, I just sent her the list saying that the office says so many students have failed. What is your say? This counts to so much of a percentage of students. So now, if we are going to talk about the audit report that is going to come from the owner of the report, that is, I am telling कि भाई economics के teachers ने economics का report देना है, zoology वालों ने zoology का देना. अगर मैं उन teachers के ऊपर यकीन करने वाला हूँ तो report can fail. कोई क्रॉस चेक चाहिए कि जहां पे एक्सटर्नल ऑडिटर कैन प्ले अ बिगर रोल. If the entire process of internal audits is becoming fake, an external auditor can perhaps play a better role. That is the reason why an external auditor will work. Are you getting me,
Yes,
Gauri ji?
sir. Yes, sir.
This is what happens. Now I will tell you. आपके यहाँ पे first and second year is with the college.
Yes, sir. Sir, third year also.
Third year also with the college. That's
We are
great.
autonomous, yeah.
Actually, you are autonomous. I will request you sometime ask the department to give results. And
Yes, sir.
also ask the office to give results. You may find the difference in the results.
Sir, we do it the other way. We take the result from the office and send it to the departments and tell them that now comment on this and tell the reasons.
That's really
So
very
they
nice.
so they don't have a chance of manipulating.
No, there is no chance of manipulating. That's very true. But with our case, what happens is that you have backlogs and defaulters list, so it becomes very easy to manage it. कि वो कहते हैं कि हमारे सब्जेक्ट में फेल नहीं हुआ है, वो किसी XYZ सब्जेक्ट में फेल हो गए, इसके लिए वो फेल है, हमारे पास तो अच्छा है. तो ये दोनों तरीके.
Got it, sir.
That's so. What I want to say is let's go ahead with it. If the internal systems are not proper, then in that case you will have to depend on external systems.
I would like to share on placement. In our institute only, like Madam was telling about the MBA. No doubt the season will go for MBA from September to till December, January. The season of placement will be going on. We have one placement head and we have 5 different colleges in a single campus. We have placement officer for each college and we have one centralized placement head. If you take physiotherapy department and nursing department, their placement will not happen in a season. It is a month, only it's a 1 month activity for them. So whichever they are placing in that month, that's over. Again, next year, 1 month will come where they'll be placing the people. Now, when I do an audit for the placement head, the placement head supposed to have all the details of all the department, saying that this percent in this department, this percent in this department, companies visited for life science is this, companies visited for MBA is this, like that. If I do individual audit for the placement officer of that department, I'll get one factual data. As you were telling, from the office result and the results of the teacher. And when I take the placement record of the placement head, it shows the difference. To match with that, whenever the report, I'll send one auditor to the college and one auditor to the placement head, I'll get 2 different reports. Now, either the reports has to match or it should have a solid reason that which one is correct. The placement details from the placement head is correct or this. So once I have come across that, placement head says that 93 companies has visited degree block and BBA, BA and BCA students have been placed to around 80%. Degree placement officer says me that only 10 companies has visited and I have a record of only 20% placement details. When I ask the placement head says me, I have forwarded all the mails which was related to degree to the placement officer. My job is done. So according to me, 93 companies has come. And That was going on, and the problem has continued for 3 audits. Then I have taken that observation as the risk. And when management has been reported for this, the fact has come across that no doubt placement head is forwarding the emails, but the decision of placement officer in degree is like, this is not related to my department, this is not related. So the person has not called and taken an initiation to call the company. That is where we lost. And placement head's assumption was, I have sent so many companies, and according to me, this % of the details should be filled. So these things, now we made a rule that whatever every month the process will happen, both of them has to decide what report they are giving it to us. So that it should match what is there with the placement head and what is there with the placement officer. This has solved the issue that if it is 20%, both of them should say 20%. If it is 80%, both of them should say 80%. That means made both of them responsible, instead single person as a responsible at their position. So this is how the reporting is the one which you are observing. Conclusion will happen in a later stage. That is what is the point. And one more question what Nanvani madam was asking, that why we are taking only risk and opportunity here, why not strength and challenges? Here we are not working on SWOT analysis now. We are trying to take the observations and conclusions of the audit to either convert the risk into opportunities, or to decide that something is happening very perfect with us and it is going to be an opportunity further. If the observations are showing towards an risk, then what strategy to be drawn to convert that into an opportunity? If it is an opportunity, then how do we make that opportunity into a strength? So this is just to get ourselves into a mind that what is happening, what further to be worked out. Therefore, we cannot add here the strength and the other things also, because we are not writing on each objective evidence all the SWOT analysis. No, we are trying to understand the risk and opportunity. If it is a risk, we'll turn to opportunity. If it is an opportunity, we'll turn that to a strength. That is the idea of taking an audit report in this form. I think we can move ahead now.
Yes, very good.
Yeah. So let us move on to non-conformance report. Conformance, we are very much clear with the term conformance, that what has been written in a policy, what are the key indicators, and all the key indicators have been followed, and you have got the perfection in all the records related to that. That is conformance. So there is no doubt on it, and we are not going to do anything. And if that conformance is working continuously as an conformance in our observation or in our audit report, then you can plan and strategy to convert that conformance as an opportunity, we say, and that opportunity towards strength. But if non-conformance is coming, remember, again, you will raise the non-conformance only after 3 audits minimum. And in some of the cases, management will take the decisions after 6 non-conformance report. But the norms says that minimum 3 observations will convert to non-conformance. You are not going to write the non-conformance as and when there, and you are not going to write the non-conformance on a single audit. That means you are giving a time, you are giving an opportunity for them to improve. Even then, if it is not happening, only then you are going to write the non-conformance. Non-conformance will be written when your reports or your observations are turning towards risk. When it is turning towards risk, then you will write, you convert that into non-conformance first. It's an alert to the process owner as well as to the management. If continuously non-conformances go, then 3 non-conformance will say that the process owner is not working properly. A strategy is to be drawn that either you are changing the process owner or you are going to take some strong decisions to make the process work properly. Here you can see in this form that some of the form has to be filled by an auditor and part of the form has to be filled by auditee. Here if you say audit number, date and all you can look into, and you are going to write the name of the auditor as well, you are going to write the name of the auditee, and you are going to write the findings, audit findings. What kind of audit findings has been seen or has been checked, which is showing that it is non-conformance. And the findings, what you are going to write here, should be an observation of your reports and the findings of 3 audits which has happened. That particular points, you are going to write it as findings. Once you write the finding, you have to write the requirement also. As Nirmalya sir also was telling, where we write the benchmark, how we find that this is less, how we find that this is not less. So here you write the requirement, what your policy or your process has mentioned, that what is required, and against that what is your finding. So that writing requirement is one of the important aspect here, where you are going to make them clear that as per the policy, as per the process key indicator, this is the requirement. And the finding says that you are not reaching this particular requirement. Then for that, to prove that, you should have the evidences, either the objective evidence or the audit evidence. Evidences related to the finding what you are talking about. Then this has to be explained to auditee, that whatever you are writing, not because you are an enemy to that person, or not because you are one of the, you are not liking that person, that's why you are doing that. It is not on the basis of that. It is on the basis of the reports, what has been shown, the policies, what has been created. Make them clear and take the auditee signature as well as the auditor's signature. Now, auditee has to fill the corrective action plan for that finding, for that non-conformance. And in that, the auditee has to mention that what was the root cause for that finding. Why it has been not completed even after giving a time for 3 audits. If the audit frequency is 1 month, a time of 3 months. If audit frequency is 2 months, a time of 6 months. Like after so much of time also, if auditee has unable to produce a proper documentation on that, what could be the root cause? Auditee should say, what was the reason? And how the auditee is going to correct that? What is the correction plan? Action plan for that? Whom he is giving that responsibility, he or she is giving the responsibility to someone, or he is going to give a flowchart to you that this way I'll work and I'm going to finish this particular thing in a target date. So auditee has to give the corrective action plan with the target date. Once this has been taken from the auditee, the target date now will be fixed by an auditee, like after a month of time, or after 15 days of time, or after 2 months of time, I'm going to do this. Then a need-based audit will happen for this non-conformance. This audit is called need-based because you need to verify the action plan of the auditee. Whatever the action plan has been said by an auditee has been completed or not completed, that you are going to check on the target date given by the auditee. Here you are not going to write any program, you are not going to do anything here. You are going to do a need-based audit. This can come in any time in your year or any time in your calendar. But in your calendar, you are going to mention in this date, on this month, a need-based audit has happened for this particular process or for the particular department or whatever. So plan for verification has to be happened. That is, you are going to tell the auditee, this is your target date and I will be coming on this particular date for verification. And after that audit will be done only for that point, which has been non-confirmed. It will not be done for all the process again. It will be done for only for that particular point which has been non-confirmed. And implementation which has been happened has to be written by the auditor, and if the auditor is satisfied on that particular point, then implementation of the correction or corrective action plan will be asked to continue that process with the same manner for the next audit. And here the auditor say, with this, after the verification, the non-conformance being closed on this particular day and the plan of action will continue from here. There, your non-conformance will be closed. Non-conformance, once it starts, once you write the non-conformance, you cannot leave the non-conformance like that in between. You have to complete the non-conformance. You have to close the non-conformance. Only then you can take a next audit on that process. Otherwise, the process is not working properly and it remains like that only. There's no point doing once again a normal audit to that process till you take a corrective plan on that. So this is the document for non-conformance. Any doubts or any questions here?
No, ma'am. Fine.
It's clear? Fine.
This is fine.
So now I would like to conclude the audit discussion which we have started in the last session, saying that what is an audit and some terminologies we have used, that how we start an audit with the objective evidence, or it's a planned, Then we collect audit evidences, we write a report on audit evidences, and we conclude the audit. And we will understand about conformance and non-conformance reports. As I said, non-conformance is a serious aspect actually. The process owner will be under task when you are raising the non-conformance. Non-conformance can be raised on improper documentation, or non-conformance also can be raised on not taking responsibility of that process by the process owner. Here I would like to take one example, that one of the case which has happened with me is like principal of the department has to provide all the documents, and the principal's availability during the audit is very much necessary. This we will mention in the program itself. Every time I used to send the program to the principal saying that this day the audit is there and my people will reach you. They will take the time. It will go as per your timing because you are a busy person. Every time my people will go, the principal will arrange his subordinates and complete the process. Every time my auditors will write in a report that the absence of the principal, no principal available for the closing meeting as well as throughout the process. After 3 observations, I considered that as a risk, and I have taken risk-based audit saying this time I will be an auditor for your department and I require your availability as you are not available 2 times to the auditor. Then after sending the program, after 2 days, again I have sent one email, again reminder email. Then I got a response to the reminder email saying that this is my timing and this is the day I will be available for the audit. I agreed on the same time and same date. I went. I waited for half an hour, but the process owner was not available. I called up from his office to the process owner, principal, and said, "Sir, I am here for your department audit." Then he said, "I may not come now. You need to wait for another 2-3 hours." I said, "I'm going back because my time is over. I came for this particular time. Anyway, after 2 hours, I'll come and meet you." After 2 hours, I went and I took this non-conformance report. I have written in the non-conformance report in the findings that report dated by the auditor, this non-availability of the process owner, report dated by second audit by this person, non-availability of the principal. And also I have written the mail dated this, program dated this, all our findings. And the requirement was availability of the process owner, which has mentioned in the policies, procedures, as well as per the ISO clause. Objective evidences for audit evidences for me are the reports of the audits. NC been raised because non-availability of the process owner was there or the auditee was there. Later we got the corrective plan. It took 1 month to close this non-confirmation. Why I am sharing this is, it is not the question that you are auditing just because auditing. one non-conformance made him so much correct. Now just he will take minutes of time to respond, and he'll make himself available every time when we do an audit. Because this is going to be recorded in their appraisals that this process owner has got NC this year. And as I said, 3 NCs in any of the record will say that change the process owner. That is a corrective plan of the management. Management will take a correction plan that if this process owner is not working, then let us put the next process owner there. So the seriousness of the audit has to be taken in a way that you are doing an audit to improve the quality. You are not doing an audit just to do the audit. And also ethically, when you are doing an audit, keep your profession into your mind, and you are a professional auditor. There should not be any personal interactions or personal grudges generally should come in between. This should be the official one, and it has to go officially. Should be. Otherwise, even an auditor can get a non-conformance if things go wrong. So this is what I would like to conclude with this. Any doubts can be discussed.
Yeah, ma'am, one question is there.
Yes.
The example which you have quoted is very shocking, of course. But in normal cases, if the principal has some other job or business, IQAC coordinator or vice principal can attend as audit, no? In absence of principal,
whoever is responsible for that process should be available.
IQAC coordinator, he can be replacement for some time.
No, there is no replacement.
No replacement.
Okay.
Replacement will not happen.
There is no replacement.
No,
Can
sir,
there be a replacement to a principal? We cannot be replaced.
No, not
For example, just 1 minute. I just wish to make a note. The entire process has been completed. Some process has been completed, which is to be monitored, which is where the process owner happens to be the principal himself.
Yeah.
In writing, a mail has been saying that whether you are available on this particular day.
Yeah.
It is with your consent I am coming.
Yeah.
If you are not available on that day, you communicate. Tell the day you are available, tell the time you are available. If let us say, Rajendraji, if I tell you that I want to visit your place,
okay,
I will take a consent from you. Whether you are available at that time, then I will come to your place.
Yeah, of course.
If I have taken your permission, if I have reminded you, and if I go to your place and you are not available, this is exactly what she is talking currently.
Yeah, correct.
So, if you are not available, you tell in advance, I am not available. Instead, we will change the date.
Yeah.
But the owner must be present over there because the process has been now audited.
Yeah. No, sir, my question is that if the auditor has come with the consent of principal, and within that day, for 2 hours, the principal has to go for some emergency work, then who will be the replacement for that 1 hour or 2 hours?
There is no replacement, the date can be changed.
Okay.
Sir, there will be no replacement, but here see, I told the story of principal because it is my experience.
Right.
See, now every time when you are auditing, you are not calling principal. See, when you are going for sports audit, you are nowhere touching the principal. You will ask the physical director only to present to complete that process, because that process owner is physical director.
Physical director, yes.
Yeah, if you are going for cultural committee process, then you are checking only cultural committee. You no need principal. Don't disturb principal for every process.
Yes,
But
yes.
But
there
now,
are
Right.
Rajendra ji,
few
Haan,
things
sir.
where principal only should answer and principal only should be available.
I will
Yeah.
give an example over here.
And you know,
Appointment.
not only the principal. In my institute from last year, we are doing an audit to director. We are doing audit to executive director also.
Okay.
Because their files also we have taken it as one of the process, management process. We called it as QMS, quality management system. So some of the things only director is answerable for me, and director also should be available for the audit without saying that I am not available. No doubt I take a concern. No doubt I will
Yes,
go
yes,
for
yes.
the audit, but the director should be available there. He
Yeah,
cannot say
got it.
I am not available.
Yeah, got it. Got it.
For example, if it
Yes.
is appointment of the teachers, in our case, it
Yes.
is only the principal who is going to be the one who can answer it.
Yes, yes, yes.
No one else can answer it. An IQC coordinator or a vice principal cannot answer those things.
Yeah, yeah. Very
So
correct.
there, the principal only has to be clear.
Correct.
So in other words, it is like responsibility fixing. The
Yes,
person
man.
is responsible for that particular aspect, and he is the owner of that particular process.
For principal, it's mandatory.
So for that particular process, it is mandatory for the principal.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm
Got
telling
it, sir.
you,
Got it.
director is mandatory.
Got it, sir. Got it, ma'am. Got it, ma'am.
For 5 days. That
When we
at
had
7 o'clock I have a meeting, sir, I am going. It is because director was having the work from 9 o'clock and he wanted to finish his audit before 9 o'clock. He said me that if you can make your time and come at 7 o'clock, finish my audit by 9 because I have work. But his availability is required.
Yes,
Yes.
got it, ma'am. Got it, ma'am.
But I think
Thank you,
this
Padi,
is
sir.
a matter of communication. It's a matter of communication. If there is an emergency, it should be communicated to the auditor, I guess. Isn't that so?
Your
If there
voice
is an
is breaking,
emergency for the
Amrapali. Amrapali, your voice is breaking.
What I'm saying is,
Yes,
what I'm saying is, it's a matter of communication.
It is a matter of communication. That's very
Oh,
true.
True. Matter of communication. Agree.
But it is also a matter of responsibility.
Responsibility. True. Responsibility.
Oh. बरोबर यारकडनं 75 घेतले आपल्याकडनं 50
Rajendra sir, जरा आवाज mute करा.
Yes, yes, yes.
Sir, can I say something?
Yes, please, Nirmal ji.
Sir, what I got from today's presentation by ma'am and you is that like the accounting audit, and I always believe that the word comes from basically from accounting. If you have an academic audit, just as in the accounting audit, you have this idea that you cannot do a cheating, you cannot do a fraud, you cannot do a misappropriation in terms of monies or whatever. Similarly, you also cannot do certain things, or you should be doing certain things when it comes to academic or institutional audit.
Very true.
The placing of the audit as a principle within an academic institution itself confirms that the institution will be doing something in order to improve its quality of its academics and its institutional well-being. It sets itself order. Different academic institutions would have it in different ways. I mean, there would be colleges in villages where the standards would be very different from colleges, say, in a city or in Delhi University. But everybody will be looking at an improvement or a kind of quality consciousness towards its own institution. I think primarily setting the audit system in place as a principle and a policy is what is important. The intricacies of the audit document can change according to the situation of the institution. But setting it up, I think, is very important because it gives
Yes,
you
and
that
it ought to be value-based.
it has to be valuable. So I think that is what is of more importance as a group of people who are looking at quality enhancement of institutions. We should certainly stress upon the fact that all institutions should go into some kind of an academic audit at whatever time span they can, which is convenient to them, according to a certain plan. I think this is what I have understood from Dr. Badrunissa's presentation.
I think it was one of the finest sessions that I have.
Yes, sir. Sir, I have one more thing to say.
Nirmala sir,
yes, sir.
Let me answer you. As you said, like, yes, every college has to think about it and set these things. Let me add a point there that definitely it is not that easy to set up all these things in a month or two.
Yes.
It requires time.
Yes.
And the person who is taking a lead to start this should be very patient and wait for the time. Minimum, it requires 3 years of time to get everything set in the college.
Right.
But once it sets, it is lifelong. You are there in the college or not there, the system will move on. It is a system setup. It is not you and me setting up. It is a system setup.
Agreed.
Person will come and person will go. But the documentation, but the reports will speak what has happened earlier.
That's right. Agreed.
I will like to give an example over here.
This takes time, but people like auditors, now the training, what is happening to you people, you should be patient enough to start and at least initiate this process. One day it will settle.
I wish to remind you about the election commission. All of us have seen all those elections that used to take place. And then someone came in and set up these standards. The worst of the people have to listen to the election commission these days.
PN session.
PN session, absolutely right. The way he brought those systems, today those systems are working fantastic, whether the person is there or he is not there. Because it took a long time, Mendel. If politicians can be controlled, I think so. Anyone else can be controlled. They are the worst rogues that we have with us.
No, sir, but then here I slightly differ in a sense. Politicians at least have to face people at the interval of 5 years. And they have to pass that litmus test. The bureaucracy is much more safe than the politicians sometimes, I believe.
Yeah, I agree to it, very true. But then I just wish to make a mention. I'm trying to make a point over here that if a system is brought, it can work.
सुमन सर, उस तरह से तो टीचर सबसे सेफ हैं.
हाँ, बहुत ही safe.
But then that yes, and then unfortunately that is happening and reflecting in the institution's profile and standing, na?
Yes, definitely.
Some institutions are nowhere,
Sir,
even after having 30-40 years of standing.
You sir, एक चीज I want to say one more thing. सर, ये जो सर feedback form आता है ना, सर इसमें बड़ा problem है सर. You ask us to say if you are excellent, good, bad. How can I do that, sir? आप और बद्रुन्निसा मैम को हम excellent, good, bad कैसे define करें? I mean, this is not done.
निर्मला जी सुनो, अभी आपने बोला तो आपको बीच में interrupt करता हूँ.
Sir, let me just finish. It is better that you ask us to respond to the lecture that we have heard about what we feel good or what we feel should be added or something, rather than saying Piyush Pahade has been excellent in his lecture. This is, I find it very difficult, sir.
I wish to give you one feedback mechanism.
Yes, sir, I will add and I will endorse his point, and with one small suggestion, the range giving here of excellent and best or bad, etc. Instead of that, a range of 1 to 10.
कोई रेंज नहीं चाहिए सर. आप पाड़े साहब को आप 5 दोगे, 4 दोगे, 6 दोगे, कैसे करोगे?
नहीं, but
no need of any change. of range. We just make a comment on the presentation.
No, what my point was, instead of there are only two options, na, best or bad, which is a very problematic. I say in that sense, honestly speaking, a range will at least give me some scope to measure in a positive way, somewhere around 10, 9, 8, 9, 10 like that. There will be some subjectivity of course.
ये दोनों mentors को measure नहीं करना है.
नहीं करना है.
मुझे lecture को evaluate करना है.
Yes, that is another way. Yes, that I agree.
बात आपको बता देते हैं कि हमने IPSC क्लस्टर में एक फीडबैक मैकेनिज्म खास करके SSS के लिए बनाई है. वो लोग लेने के लिए तैयार नहीं होते. उसमें या तो आप अच्छे हो या तो नहीं हो, इतना ही.
नहीं, but that is also not correct, sir.
That's not correct.
That is it cannot be either. Either you are absolutely bad. No person is that way, sir. No person is that way.
Just one minute. It does not end there. The questions are very objective in a way that whether the syllabus was given or not given at the beginning of the term. इसमें तो कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं हो सकती.
नहीं, इसमें कोई प्रॉब्लम.
या तो टॉयलेट साफ है या तो नहीं है. हाँ, तो ये यहाँ पे तो ऐसे ही आना चाहिए. जरा साफ होती है, कभी-कभी साफ होती है यार.
This is the
risk नहीं है ना.
This is the beauty of a mentor, that he will make his point and he will convince us.
Anyway,
Madam, you are in mute mode. You are saying she is.
I was telling that's why he is a mentor.
Anyway, we are on the verge of ending this session. I think so. I have got Nirmal Sir's point. We can have a verbal good or bad statement today itself. I will request all of you to not only unmute but also come in front of the camera and give the feedbacks about the session. थोड़े ही लोग हैं, जरा कम लोग हैं. That will be better. I request all of you to please open up your cameras also and your voices also.
Good bad तो बोलना ही नहीं है sir. I am only saying that it was valuable. I understood certain things. I also understand that there are certain difficulties and challenges that institutions will face when such systems are put in place. I have understood that, and I'm thankful to both of you for bringing this.
Yes, and what I understood is that actually I was about to say that comment sometime in between, but then it was diverted to some good valuable discussion, so I stopped myself. One thing is very clear, that audit is not a self-appraisal either internally or through external person. Definitely not. It is not self-pampering. The audit is basically to identify the gray areas, and that is possible only when we are open-minded and we are transparent. So it is a continuation of what we learned last Thursday. On this Monday, we are 2 steps further now, and probably this is how the journey will go further.
Badrunisa ma'am, I wish to say that I really loved and enjoyed the lecture today because quality fascinates me. And I love this kind of non-conformance reports and, audit reports and, identifying the gray areas and opportunities for sustenance and success. So I really loved it. Yes, of course, it's an arduous task. And also it is a long haul. But if India has to go on to becoming a really, a center for quality education, then this is a must. So thank you very much. My thumbs up to you,
Thank you.
Yes.
Some more feedbacks.
Yes, madam. I mean, after looking at the formats that you have made, it is, they are just too excellent. Everything placed and they're very pointed, up to the mark. And if we are able to really make use of them and make it into our process, into our every day-to-day working, I think our institutes will soon, maybe by the next NAC, we always have a good score and a much better score than what we are having currently.
You should not
We are
struggle
going to be
during,
working. Yes,
you should not struggle during uploading your NAC.
correct.
Things
And
will be there by
and I
itself.
should say you are inviting a lot of problem for yourself, because now we are going to be constantly nagging you wherever we don't understand and wherever we want to place our things in the institute. So both you and Piyush are inviting a lot of difficulties for you, and so that is what I would want to say.
तो ऐसे होता है
No,
ना,
we are
ऐसे
constantly under. For
किसी
I am
grade में
constantly
5 साल
under
खल
difficulty
होती
only.
हैं.
For years, I am under difficulty.
Yes, sir, but you are going to face it more now.
That is what I was trying to tell. We are love to take the difficulties. That's why we are here today. And next also we will take. There is no issue at all because we are used to that.
Thank you for being available.
I also wish to add one more thing. This is not an evaluation of today's session or about the mentors. It is about this, that just like a woman is assumed to be a good mother, you know, as soon as she gets married and produces a child, you know, that parenting is not taught as such. In the same way, we are not taught how to be good teachers. But I think not just that teaching has to be given. Every teacher should mandatorily go through a quality enhancement module. That training must be given, and then only a teacher must become a teacher in a college. Because she carries a responsibility, you see. So today teachers are, you know, born and brought up with this attitude that I have to only go to the class, teach, and my work ends. What about the documentation? What about quality initiatives? That's a big question mark. So I think if IQAC can put this across even to NAC, how many of your teachers are trained in quality initiatives? I think
There
that
is a
should.
question already.
Furthermore, Nanwani madam, especially in Maharashtra, this is yet another an issue because we say that, oh, we are going to have our teachers on lecture basis.
Yes. Yes.
This is
yes.
a bigger threat that is coming up. You know,
Yes.
ye kaam kaun kare?
Yes.
I just wish to make a mention over here. Every year, the number, especially in private colleges, the number of teachers who join and leave, that number is tremendous.
Correct.
I think so. That is the reason why NAC has now changed the format. How many teachers? What is the experience of the teacher? के बजाय उन्होंने what is the experience of the teacher in that organization? This is what has come. So this is a big issue actually, and we need to train people. Unless they learn, things won't change.
I think government needs to make it mandatory that the first year of their employment, when they are employed, they should only be trained how to teach, how to work in administrative committees, how to do documentation, how to take up the processes, and then they should start, just like any corporate company does.
That's very true.
But we don't focus more on that.
There is one small change that has come up, that now when the teacher joins, he has to go for a course of a few years, a few months, almost 50 days or so. This is one good thing that has happened. Otherwise, no. Only if he learns, he learns. Otherwise, he retires, but he doesn't learn. This is what I have seen. And I have seen so many people retiring without doing anything good to the organization. Rather, for 30 years, you have a pain in your head. They retire and we felicitate them also. Anyway, let's stop for the day now. Thank you so much.
Thanks, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, madam.
Thank
Thank
you.
you. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, madam.
Thank you.
sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Piyush sir,
Yes, please.
I'm so sorry, you know, I mean, I lost my connect when you were speaking about Mansi. So she's admitted, right? You said?
No, she is home quarantined currently.
Okay.
She's having COVID. She was, for the past 3 months, she has been treating
I know
COVID
about that. I know about that. But what about your child? Your child is, you know, safe and sound, right?
Yeah, both of us are safe and sound.
Okay.
It's a row house where we stay, so the upper floor has been is with Manasi now. I'm saying
Okay.
She is in the bedroom of upstairs, and
Okay,
both
okay.
of us are in the lower.
So how many days back has she been detected?
She was first detected. She sensed it out on the last Monday.
Oh, okay, okay, okay.
But then
But
the detection came only on Tuesday night, that is Wednesday morning.
so she's into 6-7 days, isn't it? Already.
Yesterday she was a little critical.
So her oxygen level dipped or something?
No, it was not the oxygen level that had dipped in, but the cytokinin levels, which are very, very important, they have increased.
Okay.
But
Okay.
since morning she is quite fine. No time her oxygen levels dipped down. So that's this part. And she's working at national level also for the COVID situation. So very well updated with everything. That was not an issue. She still has her mentor, and he takes care of her. But then yesterday it was a little critical for us whether we have to shift her to a hospital or what. We got all the tests done again, not about the COVID, but the blood tests that need to be done. Today she is quite safe, she's quite happy, she's smiling a little.
We wish a very speedy recovery.
Yes,
Yeah,
absolutely.
but
Let there be
Yes,
Godspeed in recovery. Yep.
our best wishes to her, sir.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Sure.
And so you also please take care, you and your child.
Yes, that is what he is going through his examinations now currently. He is doing his MSc, so he's final year of MSc. So there is a death also that has taken place in the family. One of the relatives has passed away today. Today afternoon I was a little very disturbed. Too many things happening at one and the same time. The new book has also been launched and it is also having its own problems. There are something like 200 plus participants who have registered for that course.
Yeah, documentation.
Documentation course.
Yeah, yeah.
200 plus have registered. That's a good news that something like 13, 14 states have registered, but then the systems come under stress. So we are now, especially technology updations and all those things start working on. So that was one more area. College has started full-fledged. I am not to go anywhere, but lectures have begun. So all different areas coming at the same time, then it becomes a problem. By God's grace, it was Budunesa Madam's session now, so I did not have to prepare much for it. But we otherwise also we sit and talk out about the session, without which the session is not delivered. What I am going to deliver, what is expected, how it relates to what she takes care of, that also is taken care by us. Anyway, so let's wait.
Take care, sir.
Yes.
Yeah. Take care, sir. Take care. Bye-bye. Good night.
Bye.
Bye. Good night, everybody.
Good night, everyone.
Good night.
Good night, madam. Good night, madam. Good night, all.
Budunesa Madam, you wait for a minute. I just she has gone. I call her.